Hello everyone and welcome back to the shop. Today I'm building a simple, sturdy coffee table out of beautiful acacia wood. If you want to build something that lasts not just for years but for millennia, this is the reliable hardwood you want to use. The final dimension for this table will be 100 by 60 centimeters, standing 45 centimeters tall. First up, I need to cut these long planks down to size. These pieces are designed for the tabletop, so I'm cross-cutting them all to exactly 100 centimeters each. Once the top is sorted, I switch over and make a few rib cuts to create the stretchers that will support the base. Now here is the classic woodworking challenge. The plank I really wanted to use has a nasty cracks right at the end of it. To stop it from splitting any further, I'm cross-drilling a hole straight through the cracks and gluing in a wooden dowel to lock it securely in place. With the cracks dealt with, I move over to my dedicated planing stations. I always do my electric planing right here because, let's be honest, the amount of sawdust this thing creates is absolutely massive. Next, I mark a straight line along the edges of the planks. This acts as my guide to flatten the edges perfectly, which is super important so they can join together seamlessly to form one solid wooden board. To join these planks, I draw a reference line right across the seams. These lines are my trusty guide, so I know exactly where to drill the holes for the joints along the edges. Taking your time during this layout phase is crucial. If these holes don't line up perfectly, the tabletop will be uneven, and no amount of sanding will be easily fix a bad joint. Now it's time to cut the mortise. I line up all four legs side by side and draw line layout lines across all of them at once. This guarantees that every joint will be at the exact same height. Full disclosure, This is actually my very first time using this specific router. In fact, it isn't even mine. I borrowed it from a friend, so if you eagle-eyed, you'd notice something a little off. Yeah, it's definitely the way I installed this edge guide. Hey, we are all learning here. Next, I trim off the excess line from the legs to match my final design, and I do the exact same thing for the stretchers to get the desired length. I carefully use a marker to lay out the exact depth and width on each piece. I've never cut tenons quite like this before, but using this technique turned out to be pretty awesome. The accuracy and efficiency are just incredible, especially when you are dealing with the hardwood as tough as Acacia. I ran into a little issue here. Some of the legs had sunken spots and weren't completely flat. I couldn't use an electric planer to fix it without sacrificing too much thickness, so I got creative and used an angle grinder to carefully smooth out the surface instead. Because this is a nailless design, the entire strength of the table relies on the glue and the tight fit of the joints. I have to make absolutely sure they are incredibly snug so this table doesn't wobble or break anytime in the near future. There is nothing quite as satisfying as the feeling of perfectly cut mortise and tenon joints sliding together. It takes some practice, but the result is a piece of furniture that can handle real life. To give the upper frame some extra insurance, I'm rescuing the top stretchers joint with screws. Pro tips: always pre-drill your holes first. If you skip this, the hardwood will almost certainly cracks. With the base assembled, I give the top structure a quick sand. I need to make sure everything is perfectly flush and flat before I place the tabletop on top of it. The underside of the tabletop was still a bit rough. Even though it's hidden, I never want a client to feel a rough edge if they grab the table from underneath, so I took the time to smooth it out. soften the sharp edges, I'm using my DIY branded corner jig. By the way, if you are wondering how I built this handy little jig out of scrap wood, you can check out the link in the description below to see that video. The electric planer did the heavy lifting, but to get that truly soft surface, I had to work through the sandpaper. I started at 60 grit, moved up to 100, then to 140, and finally gave it a polish with 400. Before applying any finish, it is crucial to wipe away all the leftover dust. I found that this specific fabric works perfectly to trap the fine dust of the table. Now for the finish, I apply a thin first layer using a brush and a rag. Notice I didn't use any wood filler here. I want the natural wooden texture to stay. Sometimes a super glossy finish just looks artificial, and that is definitely not the vibe I want. This initial coat really makes the grain pop and reveals the pores of the wood. Once it's completely dry, I give it a very light hand sand so the surface is perfectly smooth for the second coat. And here's come to the final results. What do you guys think of it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment, and if you enjoyed this build, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.